WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. So I've been making basically trying to get a good fabrication of steel going. So all I'm doing is making a bunch of blocks of iron, and we'll have one excess bit of iron here. We'll put that into here, but it's actually more efficient to compress your iron if you're going to go from bars into blocks, because it then macerates them 9 at a time and is thus much faster. So I'm just gonna do that to get the remaining dust supply that we need. We also need a bit more of our carbon so that we can get some things well going. The reason we want to automate it is because it's a rather long process and we are going to need a lot more for our boiler. So pretty much to automate it, it's going to be easy enough. Well, automate in a sense where you just dump a lot more materials in, just putting a hopper on the top and a relay at the bottom. We'll take our screwdriver and put it in. There we go. Now we just need to put our iron dust into here and our coal dust at the bottom. You got more than enough iron dust, I do suppose, so let's put our 4 stacks in there. La 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 la. So 4 stacks into here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 4 stacks will slowly go into here, and we already have some coal dust ready and willing and definitely able. And we'll just get some remaining coal dust. This will be good for now. We're still processing some of it, but just putting this here into the relay will throw it in, and eventually all of it will be used. So this doesn't seem like it's actually doing anything currently, because it doesn't seem like this thing has enough power. But we should have enough power eventually. If we look here, it just means that it's not attached, or it's not saying, hey, by the way, I am kind of needing to do stuff right now, unless we got the wrong dust in here, which shouldn't be the problem. Unless they changed that for a sec. Well, those buggers decided that it would be a good idea to change the recipe. Instead of using iron dust, to have to use refined iron. So that's a bit of an annoyance. As you can see over here, it has been changed to refined iron and refined iron. So we're going to need to refine some iron to be able to do that stuff. It's probably quicker to just get some more iron than refine it, instead of, refining this stuff. Well, that was a waste of energy. So all we'll need to do is put the refined iron at the top. Then we will be good. So, without further ado, let's actually start with some more serious stuff. Okay, so with a little of my spare time, since we didn't have much energy to go with, I thought it'd be a good idea to build another boiler setup. So I had it run for a bit. It's already at 240 degrees centigrade, and it's running off of a simple liquid tesseract that is connected to another one that is up there feeding from my kind of a buffer one. Now I disconnected 5 of the stills, and it is pretty much maintaining its, let's just say it's holding out very well. And I put an energy tesseract over there so as we can keep everything running while I am, let's just say the quarry is running a lot faster now that we have some minor modifications. So with that out of the way, I think it is a good idea to actually, maybe we should throw this redstone ore into our little system over here. Now, obviously, we don't really have much, but that will give us another 80 redstone, which we desperately need. We don't really have any redstone that I can think of. Look, we have 1 redstone. That is going to definitely last us a long time. Anywho, we should continue our coding aspect of here, and there are two things we need to do. Three if you count the physical build. One is we need to basically get the code done for this part of the system so that we can get any sort of liquid that we already have set. That's an easy thing to do. Another thing is that we need to have a system that we can send any sort of liquid to, and that will at least be a good jump start part to our ULIS system. Now, I don't think we'll go for the tanks quite yet. We're going to need some more, as in I don't think we'll add a system right away to easily just place down a portable tank and right click with the wrench to deposit it. I think that will come along later. And what I mean by that is we'll probably want to start on the Jade Apiary or Alveary, not sure which one I'm deciding on name-wise, but anyway, let's make two variables so we can work on the timing. Our first variable, I think we're going to make an LDelay1 and variable LDelay2. So LDelay1 will control the per can time that we need to wait for the system, whereas LDelay2 should control our total time, so our default time. So think of it as a linear function. It just has an initial point, then it goes up for there every single space that it goes. Not a very good representation considering we're a little cubular with these, but let's see what we can do. So we need to have a want, the name of the liquid, and the name of the capsule, and we'll want to return the success. So let's name this retrieve.t. So what this needs to do is basically it'll need to take the want and take the number of cells. So want is going to be our first, and since there's 3 terms in total, we need to do 2pick and 2pick so that we get the name L as well. So let's make sure in this we have enough liquid. So we take our liquid and go for how much we have left. And we'll want to subtract it by the number of want we want. And we need to compare it to see if we have 10 extra as well. So say we only have 5 buckets and we want 4. We still need 10 extra to be able to get the rest of the stuff out of the system as it stands right now. So let's see if it's greater than that, or is there a greater than or equal to word? We'll find out soon enough. Okay, apparently there is, which is a good thing. So let's see what we can do. Let's see. Okay, next thing we need to do. So this is an if. So we have enough. We need to now open the valve of the liquid. So open valve.t. This will open up our transposer valve so we can allow some liquid. And let's see, 2pick swap, and so this will get the name of the capsule, and we'll want to call the inventory. And call inventory gives 2 items left, so we'll go just drop it. So drop the 2 things we get, and drop the extra one. So there we go. So this line will pretty much open the valve here, and then it'll call, say, the cans that we want. We're going to need to fill the cans. Now we could probably have some sort of fact checking involved, but I think that'd be too much to think off the top of my head. So where's our stack now? Okay, so we want to, right now on the top of our stack is the liquid name. So we'll duplicate that and open that particular liquid. So with that, we'll just swap dupe, and this will basically swap it so that we get instead the cans, or rather the number that we want. So swap dupe, we got the number we want, so get cans. And now here's the point where the delay comes into play. So right now we still have the want left. So we'll take the per delay and add it and multiply it. So say we call 10 cans, we want to wait 10 times L delay 1, which should be simple. Now here comes the default delay, and then we just add those two together and wait that many ticks. Now we still have the liquid at the top of our stack, and I think the liquid is the only thing we have on the top of our stack right now. Let me just look through the code. Yeah, I think liquid is the only thing we have. So close liquid. So now we got everything. So now the liquid portion is closed. So this valve is closed. That means that anything that would go up here is going to have to go there. Instead, it'll be pretty much forced to. But just in case, we'll wait a second. So 20 ticks. And now we'll close the valve. So we'll close the valve so that this thing cannot accept anything more. Or rather, wait a second, I gotta think about my logic here. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, it makes sense. So make sure that the liquid gets all the way into here so that we got all the 10 buckets full that we'll need. And there should be that amount left, so this is good. So now, after a second, we'll close the valve so nothing else can go in there. And then all we need to do is probably another 20 ticks. Might be a good idea. We want it as fast as possible, so let's not. 10 get cans, and then return a true. And otherwise, we want to drop the numbers we would have had and return a false. And then that word should be done. So in the meantime, while that is compiling, we should make a few more cans. I think that's a good amount. And test if this liquid thing actually works. So we currently have 64 cans. Now the thing is, we need to get a good delay going. So how long does each and every single one take in order to be good? So let's get a portable tank and test quickly how much time it takes. Let's see, this will be good, and we'll have that, and we'll manually fill. There we go. Fill her up. And then it'll all go into the appropriate areas. However, this is not getting filled for obvious reasons. Why did I even bother doing that, I wonder, seeing as I can't fill this quite so manually, unless we were to do something like that, you genius, you. Okay, right click. There we'll get all the liquid that's going to be necessary, and obviously that is a little convoluted, so let's plop, plop, plop. And obviously, oh well, worth a shot. So, how many times am I going to say obviously in this entire Vendetta series thingamabobber? Okay, so, maybe we could just call 20 liquid or open the valve or something. So let's, as a good default, do 30 ticks for the L delay 1, and we'll assign that. And as a good default, we'll go 100 ticks for L delay 2. And now we'll try retrieve.t, and we'll try 10. Wait, do we have enough cans in here? Yes, we do. A stack should do. So we want 10, and we want biofuel. And what else do we want? Can it. Okay, and finally, retrieve.t. So after going through that, it'll retrieve it, hopefully open the valves, get enough stuff going. I put a little extra, apparently. What the heck? How come you are sending so many? I only asked for 10, didn't I? 10 biofuel can retrieve .t, and now it's constantly going, basically getting all of the cans it possibly can. That is a bit of a problem, seeing as we can't do anything, and I didn't save the bloody disk, did I? No, I didn't save once. There's no cold way to turn it off. Therefore, we're pretty much screwed while this is pretty much just going. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'll be right back once this is done, and we'll find out in our code what the heck is wrong. Okay, you guys probably have figured out already that I usually like to have a paper copy of my code beside me while I write to make sure that I don't do some obvious screw-ups. Well, I did an obvious screw-up, and it happened to be in my code. Long story short, I did to drop and drop. Now, what this means is that I clear 3 items on the stack. So basically, call inventory gives 3 items. So takes 3 items off the stack, and what I wanted to do was only take 2 items off the stack. So it basically got to the point where it was trying to read in some sort of forgotten number. So what was supposed to be was there was supposed to be the want and the liquid ID still on the stack. I accidentally took the liquid ID, so it then opened the valve using the want ID, or want ID, which is just a number, so that opened such a random valve, it's unbelievable. Well, I don't think it even opened a valve since it tried to reference an IO expander that wasn't existent. And then it did a bunch of idiot stuff. And speaking about idiot stuff, I forgot to add the delay things. So I guess I'll have to add the delay things again and pretty much rewrite the code so that the drop is no longer there. Be right back when I fix this screw up. Okay, this time we're actually going to save, and we're going to do test1 as the save name. It is in this disk, and I made sure to remove the other disk, the crafter call inventory, to make sure that I do not royally screw up, which would be a bad thing. So we're going to add a new liquid once again, so we're going to need to create biofuel. Create biofuel, please, and we need to do new liquid. And as custom, we are going to want the colors, so I believe light blue is 4, or is it 8? Let's see. Light blue wire, please. 1, 2, 4, 8. So 3, 8, 3, 8. And we're also going to want to get 2160. And by the way, rounding doesn't really matter right now. We'll probably want to fill it up a bit better, but anyways, 2160 buckets, full buckets. And 2160, and the maximum size, because I'm such a derp and didn't read that beforehand, is 10368. 10368, huh? 10368. Funnily enough, this is not what we were looking for. 10368, and we are going to assign this to our actual thing, which is biofuel. There we go, and after that works its way through the system, we should be able to add biofuel, assuming that our IO expander is in the correct position, which I don't think it needs to be, really. So let's go and see whether this is working. We'll go for 5 cans, so 5, and name of liquid, and we'll want a can, and hopefully this works. And did we save this? Yes, we did, as test1, retrieve.t. So 5 cans, I believe that's a few more than 5 cans. So it means whatever we have on our stack is not good. So we're going to need to reset it, restart it, make sure that everything is in the off position. We did call 5 of these. So 5 cans here. So if it's the get cans that's actually messing up, that's going to be a bit of an issue, which shouldn't be an issue actually. Let's see. 0 IOX 10 get cans. And that's 10. So it's somewhere in our code, probably calling get cans on the wrong area. Be right back while I try to figure that out. Remember when I said toDrop is supposed to drop the 2 numbers that are on the stack? So say we have 1, 2, 3 and we use toDrop, it takes those 2 numbers off the stack. Well, I had 1, 2, 3, or let's say I had 1, 2, since I can't jump that high. I actually did 2 drop instead of toDrop, which would have taken both of those off. So what that means is that I called get cans on the ID of liquid. Yeah, that called a lot of cans, which is not what we wanted to do. Therefore, let's rectify that quickly. Hee hee. Hee 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 hee. Hee hee hee. Sorry. Okay, so we got retrieve.t finally compiled. I think biofuel is ready. So once again, let's make sure everything is cleared from the system. Everything is hooked up correctly. And 5 biofuel can... If this doesn't work, I won't be happy. Okay, that opened up. We're getting liquid in here finally. And hopefully it is enough liquid to satiate it. There we go. It's sent there, and now we're sending the remaining liquid. Hopefully we don't have any excess, but we might have actually got the delays a bit off. So let's just wait for this a bit, and let's look. So our delays are a bit off, so it's probably the long delay, the rather constant delay that we are going to need to seek to get better. So let's just manually put all of these cans in, grab 4 from here and put them back into the system, and add, say, we'd probably need 2 or 3 seconds additional into our LDelay 2. Let's pump it up to 200 ticks. So 200 LDelay 2 exclamation mark. That's probably all we're going to need. So 5 biofuel can retrieve.t. So it sent the 5 cans, and now it's going to open the valve, get the liquid, and here comes the liquid. There goes 1 can's worth, here comes 2 cans worth, 3, 4, and 5 cans worth. There we go. So no more cans should go in there. It closed the valves. It's now flooding, or rather getting rid of the excess by sending it all into here, and thus going into here, and should be working to its general awesomeness. Wait a second. You know what? We have forgotten completely. We now took the liquid out of the system. How are we supposed to say that we actually took it out of the system? Oh my goodness gracious, how did I not think of that? So, the important thing is that we have the 5 cans in our inventory right now, and it should be an easy enough task to just turn this around and have the output through relay or something, or we could just get it through here, which is an easy enough endeavor to do so. So we're going to need to add something into the code that will easily enough work, but this works, so we should be able to do 20 biofuel can retrieve, and this will test really how well it's actually working delay wise, because it's really only the delays that are the issue at this point. Is it 1.5 seconds or is it 2 seconds? We're going to have to find that out. I think the constant delay is at a good benchmark, but all that we need to do is add a little thing that will just subtract it by saying, hey, can you subtract this amount from it? Sure, why not? Just give me that over here, and oh my gosh, I cut my finger, or something along those lines. Well, I'm going to brainstorm about that and see how much time we have left to ramble on, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, at this point in the code, we currently have just our liquid on the top of the stack, the liquid ID, and right below it we have the want. So that's a good place to get this. So we need to one pick, which copies the want on the top, and one pick again, that'll copy the liquid again. So currently we have liquid, want, liquid, want. And all we need to do is then, I think 2 cells, so cell number 2 in our liquid ID, and then subtract the want from it. So with that, all we have to do is copy the rest of the code, and nothing will change whatsoever, except our code will actually work how it's supposed to intend to be worked. Imagine that. Okay, I forgot to check, make sure that we actually have the right number of cells in here. And yes, 20 cans of biofuel. So we have all the biofuel that we are going to want, and I already set it to the new liquid amount in there, so there's no point in doing anything. So let's, for instance, get 40 cans of biofuel. Do we even have 40 cans in here? Yes, we do. So let's get 40 cans and make sure that this works, and we'll see, well, how it works. So 40 biofuel can retrieve .t. You might be able to make it look nicer in the future, but for now, this does work. So it does get it. So now the only way to expand the system is to actually expand it physically. So we are going to need to get a bit more stuff, and we are going to need to work on a method that will actually, well, we need a method to make a house, because as you can tell with all of my other projects, if we just take a look up, is that, well, I don't seem to like roofs that much, but hopefully we'll be able to get something a little more effective in the roof department in here, and see how that goes up. Hover mode disabled, enabled. I don't like this joyride. Get me off, get me off, get me off. Okay, so still going. Now, I think 30 ticks is a good number for the delay for individual, because it does take 10 ticks each time, and I think it's about 2 seconds per one of these transpositions. I think that's it, and it's 4 megajoules per tick, so that's about 160 megajoules required. I think that's a good number, though I wouldn't be able to tell you the actual statistics of it. So it looks like it's almost done. There we go, it's done, and now it's going to have to wait for the closing of the valves, which should come anytime soon, which did happen, and now it's going to flush it from the system, and we can see right over here that we got our 40 biofuel cans. So after this is finished flushing, we can check how much it's supposed to be. So 2135 was what we assigned it as, and it should be 2095 once we get it. So biofuel 2 cells plus, and we'll get the number. So this should be 2095. Please, 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 please. Yes, it worked. We got 2095 buckets left in the system, as you can see by here. Now, obviously, it will kind of be bad when we tweak it by just throwing all these cans back into the liquid transposer. But c'est la vie, I think we are good. No? No. So, I think we should leave this system for now. We should work on some other things that won't require as much iron to make. There's actually a project that I am currently, well, designing, I think is a good way to say it. And it is kind of resource heavy in the iron department. From my calculations, I think it requires a total of, in just iron, 50 blocks. 50 blocks of iron? No, that's not too bad. Then you realize it stacks 50 stacks of blocks of iron. That will be fun, and I think we should finish 2 projects beforehand, which should be the Jade apiary, which should be easy enough to at least get started, though we are going to need to have another mod in the meantime installed to be able to change the IO expanders. And then we'll work on our auto crafting system once we get more managers and more resources, which is going to require our energy cells to, well, we're going to need some more of these things, let's just say. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. I wonder, can I get inside the tank? Oh dear. WayofTime here, signing off. I think I see a design flaw with this. Have a wonderful day. Bloop, 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 bloop.